Can I be real for a second? Too many people are lying to themselves. You say you want success, but your actions tell a different story. You talk about wanting to get in shape, start that business, or build a better relationship. But what do your daily habits look like? Are you putting in the work, or are you just talking about it? We all do it at some point. We tell ourselves we'll start tomorrow. We say, I'm serious this time. But we keep hitting snooze, skipping workouts, or making excuses for why we're not where we want to be. The truth hurts, but here it is. If your words and actions don't align, you're lying to yourself. And I get it. It feels good to dream. It feels good to say big things out loud, to talk about your future self and how amazing life will be someday. But let me ask you this. What good are those words if they never translate into action? It's easy to say you want to change. The hard part is doing what's required day in and day out. Stop pretending you're waiting for the right moment. You know deep down there's no perfect time. Waiting is just a cover for fear. You're not waiting for circumstances to change. You're waiting for your own courage to kick in. And here's the harsh truth. If you don't get real with yourself now, a year from today, you'll still be in the same place. Your actions define you, not your intentions. You can have the best intentions in the world, but if they never see the light of day, they mean nothing. It's what you do consistently that shapes your reality. Think about this. How many promises have you made to yourself that you haven't kept? You said you'd start working out, but you're still on the couch. You said you'd work on that passion project, but Netflix always wins. You said you wanted better relationships, but you're not putting in the effort to connect. Words are easy. Action is everything. You can't build the life you want by talking about it. You build it by living it. Every time you lie to yourself, every time your actions don't match your words, you chip away at your self-respect. Eventually, you stop trusting yourself, and that's when things fall apart. But here's the good news. It's never too late to turn things around. If you've been living a lie, today's the day to get honest with yourself. Stop saying what you're going to do and just do it. Start small if you have to, but start. Even the smallest actions create momentum. You don't need grand gestures to prove you're serious. You need consistent daily effort. It's in those small everyday decisions that success is born. If you show up every day, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it, your actions will begin to align with your words. And that alignment, that's where self-respect, confidence, and real progress live. So stop lying to yourself. Stop pretending you'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow is a trap. It doesn't exist. All you have is right now. So stop talking and start doing it. If your actions don't match your words, change your actions. Or change your words, but don't let them stay out of sync. Your future self is depending on you to get real today. So what are you waiting for? It's time to stop making excuses and start making moves. Get up, take action, and finally become the person you've been telling yourself you'd be. The only way forward is through honesty, and that starts right now. Let's get clear on something right now. Your biggest competition isn't out there. It's not your colleague, your friend, or some stranger on social media. It's you. The battle is between the version of you who's playing small and the one who knows you're capable of more. It's you versus you every single day. The problem is too many people blame the world for where they are in life. They look at others and think, well, if I had what they had, I'd be winning too. Well, no one is holding you back except the person in the mirror. It's not your circumstances. It's not your lack of resources. It's you, your habits, your excuses, your beliefs. How many times have you said, I'll start tomorrow? Or how many times did you quit when things got tough? That's your opponent right there. The version of you that settles, slacks off, and lets discomfort dictate your actions. If you're tired of falling short, you need to outwork, outthink, and outlast that version of yourself. The truth is, comfort is your enemy. Every time you take the easy route, you reinforce a habit that holds you back. Comfort whispers lies, telling you to stay safe, stay small, stay the same. But growth only comes when you push through discomfort. The difference between existing and excelling lies in the choices you make when no one's watching. The greatest athletes, artists, and leaders, they don't compete with others, they compete with themselves. Every day they aim to be a little better than they were the day before. And it's not about perfection, it's about progress. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to become a better version of yourself on a regular basis. So let's get practical. Winning against yourself starts with the small stuff. So did you get out of bed when your alarm went off, or did you hit snooze? Did you give 100% today, or did you coast through it all? Did you focus on your goals, or did you scroll your life away on social media? See, every small decision counts. Success isn't about grand moments. It's built in those small daily choices. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you win. Every time you show up, even when you don't feel like it, you win. And every time you push just a little bit more than you thought you could, you close the gap between who you are today and who you want to be in the future. And stop comparing yourself to others. Their journey isn't yours. You don't know what they had to sacrifice, and frankly, it doesn't matter. What matters is how much you're growing. The only person you need to beat is the one you were yesterday. Let's be clear, this isn't easy. There will be days you feel tired, discouraged, or tempted to quit. But those moments are where winners are made. Winners don't quit, they adjust, regroup, and keep going. If you fall, you get back up. If you fail, you learn and try again. Winning isn't about never falling, it's about never staying down. You're not a victim of your circumstances. You're the author of your story. And if the life you're living isn't what you want, you have the power to change it. But change requires action, and action requires that you show up and fight every day against yourself. The good news is you don't have to make massive changes overnight. Focus on small wins, 1% better every day. Over time, those small wins will compound, and one day you'll wake up and realize you've become the person you always knew you could be. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is you. Today, you decide. Will you win, or will you let yourself off the hook again? Your future is watching, and it's time to fight. I'm going to tell you something that can change your life. Happiness isn't something that happens to you. It's something you choose. Too many people let their circumstances or results control their mood. If things are going well, they're happy. If life throws challenges their way, they fall apart. The truth is, you have more control over your happiness than you think. Life will never stop throwing curveballs. That's just the nature of it. You can't wait for everything to be perfect to feel happy, because that day may never come. Happiness isn't the result of perfect circumstances. It's the result of your mindset, your choices, and your attitude. How often have you told yourself, I'll be happy when? I'll be happy when I get that promotion. I'll be happy when I lose the weight. I'll be happy when life slows down. The problem is, when you tie your happiness to future events, you give away your power. You let your joy depend on things outside of your control. And when those things happen, the happiness doesn't last, because guess what? There's always another when waiting around the corner. becomes an endless cycle. The good news is you don't have to wait. You can choose to be happy right now, exactly as things are. It starts by realizing that happiness isn't out there somewhere, it's inside you. It's a decision you make, moment by moment. No, I'm not saying life will be easy or that choosing happiness means ignoring your challenges. Happiness isn't about avoiding problems. It's about finding joy even in the middle of them. It's about shifting your focus from what's going wrong to what's still good. Look around. There are always things to be grateful for, always moments to appreciate, no matter how small they seem. It could be the smile of a stranger, a beautiful sunset, the feeling of a fresh breeze. These are the moments that make life rich. If you keep waiting for the big, perfect moments to feel happy, you'll miss out on the beauty that's already in front of you. Your mind will try to pull you back to negativity, and that's normal. It's how the brain is wired. It's trained to scan for threats, to look for what's missing. But the great thing about the brain is it can be retrained. When you practice gratitude, positive thinking, and mindfulness, you slowly rewire your mind to focus on what's right. Happiness doesn't mean pretending everything's perfect. It's about saying, yes, life is tough, but I'm tougher. Yes, I've got challenges, but I can still choose joy. So wake up. Decide to have a good day, no matter what happens. Take control of your thoughts. When negative ones show up, challenge them. Ask yourself, is this really true, or is this just my mind trying to protect me? Find something to be grateful for every day, even if it's just one thing. Gratitude is the gateway to happiness. Just simply give yourself permission to be happy. Too often we think we need to earn happiness, that we have to achieve something before we deserve it. You don't need permission from anyone. You don't need a reason to be happy. You just need to decide. Now, the world will try to tell you otherwise. It will tell you that happiness depends on success, money, or status. But don't buy into that lie. Happiness isn't found in things, it's found in moments. And those moments are available to you right now. So what's it going to be? Are you going to wait for happiness to come to you? Or will you go out and create it yourself? The choice is yours, and it's a choice that you can make today. Decide to be happy now, not tomorrow, not when things get easier. I'm talking right now. Because happiness isn't just a feeling, it's a habit. And it starts with a decision only you can make. And once you make that decision, the world looks a little brighter. The weight feels a little lighter, and you realize you've had the power all along. If you want success, it starts with you, and it starts with self-respect. If you want to feel confident, strong, and capable, well, that's self-respect. Without it, nothing else holds. Self-respect is not arrogance. It's not thinking you're better than anyone else. And it's not about being perfect. Self-respect is knowing your worth without needing anyone else to validate it. It's the quiet confidence that comes from living according to your values, keeping your promises to yourself and holding yourself to a higher standard. Self-respect is the way you talk to yourself, the boundaries you set, and the standards you hold yourself to. It's knowing when to say no and understanding that you deserve to be treated with kindness. By others, yes, but most importantly, by yourself. Self-respect isn't about achieving perfection. You'll make mistakes, and that's okay. Self-respect means learning from those mistakes without tearing yourself down. It's not about pleasing everyone. If you live for the approval of others, you'll die by their rejection. Respect yourself enough to do what's right for you, even if everyone else doesn't understand. And it's not about never failing, because failure doesn't define you. How you respond to it does. Every time you get back up, you build a little more respect for yourself. Now let's talk about how to build it. Because self-respect isn't something you're born with, it's something you earn day by day. First, keep the promises you make to yourself. If you say you're gonna wake up at 6 a.m., do it. If you tell yourself you'll work out 3 times this week, follow through. Your self-respect grows every time your actions align with your intentions. Number 2, set boundaries and stick to them. When you respect yourself, you won't allow other people to treat you poorly or cross lines you've drawn. Boundaries aren't selfish. They're essential for protecting your peace and mental well-being. Number 3, speak kindly to yourself. The way you talk to yourself matters. If you wouldn't say it to a friend, don't say it to yourself. Start building the habit of encouragement, even when things go wrong. The 4th step is take responsibility. When you take ownership of your life, your actions, your habits, and your mindset, you stop making excuses and start building a life you're proud of. That's where self-respect is born. And finally, number 5, celebrate progress, not perfection. It's easy to beat yourself up when things don't go exactly as planned. But self-respect means recognizing your growth, even if you're not where you want to be yet. So there you have it. If you respect yourself, you'll naturally make better decisions. You'll treat your body better, you'll protect your time, and you'll set goals that challenge you instead of limiting you. When you respect yourself, you don't settle, not in relationships, not in your career, and not in your personal life. Self-respect is what makes you say, I deserve better. It's what gives you the courage to walk away from what doesn't serve you and pursue what does. It's what allows you to look in the mirror day after day and feel proud of the person looking back. You see, the more you respect yourself, the less you need validation from anyone else. You stop chasing approval because you know your value isn't up for negotiation. You start living on your own terms, and that's where freedom is found. Start small, make one promise to yourself and keep it, set one boundary and honor it. Change the way you speak to yourself, even just a little. With every small act of self-respect, you become stronger, more confident, and more unstoppable. It's important because your biggest relationship is the one you have with yourself. So treat it with care, nurture it, and protect it. Everything else in your life will rise to the level of the respect you have for yourself. Once you build self-respect, you become unstoppable. You'll walk through life with a quiet strength, knowing that no matter what happens, you've got your own back. And that's the kind of power no one can take away from you. Discipline is the backbone of every success story. Whether you want to build a business, get in shape, or develop better habits, discipline is what will get you there. Motivation will spark the fire, but discipline is what keeps it burning when things get tough. And it will get tough. So let's break down how to develop discipline, because it's not something you're born with. It's a skill you can build. And once you have it, it becomes a superpower. Number 1, start small, win big. Discipline isn't about doing big things right from the start. It's about mastering small habits consistently. If you want to build discipline, begin with something simple, like wake up 10 minutes earlier. Exercise for 5 minutes a day. Commit to one task that improves your life, like reading a few pages of a book or making your bed. Each small win builds momentum. And with momentum, you develop trust in yourself. Trust that you can commit to something and see it through. Number 2, know your why or have a purpose. Discipline is easier when you have a strong reason behind it. Why are you working on this goal? If your why is strong enough, you'll push through the hard moments. Are you working out to feel healthier or more confident? Are you building a new habit to create more financial freedom for your family? Write your purpose down and revisit it daily. Discipline without purpose becomes drudgery, but discipline with purpose becomes power. Number 3, eliminate temptations and distractions. Let's be real, self-discipline isn't just about willpower. It's about setting yourself up for success. You don't need to fight every temptation if you can avoid it. Trying to eat healthier? Don't keep junk food in the house. Working on a project? Turn off your notifications and block social media for a while. Discipline becomes easier when the environment supports your goals. Number 4, and you may have heard this before, but get comfortable being uncomfortable. Discipline means doing things you don't want to do in the moment. But the more you practice discipline, the more comfortable you become with discomfort. You start realizing that temporary discomfort is a small price to pay for long-term rewards. When you push through resistance, you build resilience. And resilience is what separates those who try from those who succeed. Number 5, use routines and systems, not just willpower. Willpower is like a battery. It drains throughout the day. That's why even the most disciplined people rely on routines and systems instead of pure willpower. Create a morning routine that sets the tone for your day. Schedule your priorities so you don't leave them to chance. Build habits that automate good decisions so you don't have to think about them every time. Discipline isn't about forcing yourself all the time. It's about creating a system where the right actions become automatic. Number 6, forgive yourself and keep moving. Listen, you're going to slip up. Everyone does. But discipline isn't about never failing. It's about getting back on track as quickly as possible. When you miss a workout, oversleep, or procrastinate on your goals, don't waste time beating yourself up. Forgive yourself, learn from it, and move on. What matters most is consistency over time. Discipline is built in the long run, not in a single perfect day. Number 7, celebrate the wins, big and small. When you stick to your commitments, acknowledge it. Discipline doesn't mean grinding nonstop without joy. Every time you follow through on a promise to yourself, that's a victory worth celebrating. Take a moment to reflect on how far you've come. Even the small steps matter because they are building the person you are becoming. And final thought here, discipline is freedom. It might sound backwards, but discipline is what gives you freedom. The more disciplined you become, the more control you have over your life. You'll no longer be a slave to bad habits, distractions, or fleeting emotions. You'll become the kind of person who does what needs to be done, no matter how you feel. So start today. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now. Make one small decision that aligns with your goals and stick to it. Then do it again and again. And before you know it, you'll look back and realize that discipline has become your way of life. And that, my friends, is the secret to success. Life requires more than just following instructions or going through the motions. If you want to grow, thrive, and make better decisions, you need to think critically. And the good news is, critical thinking is a skill, not a talent. It's something you can develop and sharpen with practice. So what exactly is critical thinking? Well, it's the ability to objectively analyze information, challenge assumptions, and make decisions based on logic and evidence, not just emotions or opinions. It's about being thoughtful, not reactive. So let's dive into how you develop this critical thinking skill. First, ask the right questions. At the heart of critical thinking lies one thing: questions. So start asking yourself, what evidence supports this? Is this fact or opinion? What are the possible outcomes? The more curious you become, the better your thinking will be. Don't just accept things at face value, dig deeper. Whether you're listening to the news, reading an article, or making a decision, train yourself to ask, is this really true? Second, challenge your own assumptions. We all have biases, beliefs we accept without question because they're familiar. Critical thinking requires that you identify those assumptions and ask, what if I'm wrong? Think of it like this. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. When you question your own beliefs and consider new perspectives, you sharpen your mind and open yourself to better solutions. The goal isn't to always be right. It's to be open to being better. Third, practice active listening. One of the best ways to develop critical thinking is by listening to understand, not just respond. Whether it's a conversation, a podcast, or an argument, slow down and listen carefully to not only what's being said, but what's not being said. Critical thinkers listen with curiosity, not judgment. They gather information from multiple sources before forming conclusions. The more perspectives you engage with, the more well-rounded your thinking becomes. Fourth, analyze and evaluate the information. We're bombarded with information daily. Some of it's useful, a lot of it's not. Your job as a critical thinker is to filter the noise and focus on what matters. Look for facts over opinions. Seek reliable sources instead of rumors. Ask yourself, what's the motive behind this message? In a world of clickbait and misinformation, the ability to separate truth from fluff is priceless. Number 5, develop problem-solving skills. Critical thinking isn't just about analyzing information. It's about using that information to solve problems effectively. Instead of jumping to conclusions, ask, what are all the possible solutions? What are the pros and cons of each option? What's the next best step based on the evidence? Critical thinkers focus on solutions, not excuses. They don't avoid tough decisions, they embrace them. Number 6 is reflect and learn from the experience. After every decision or experience, reflect on what you learned or what could have been done better. Reflection is essential for growth. Critical thinking is like a muscle. It gets stronger the more you use it. Every time you pause to reflect, you give yourself the chance to make better decisions in the future. After all, it's about progress, not perfection. So finally, developing critical thinking skills is like giving yourself a compass. It helps you navigate life's challenges with clarity and confidence. You won't just follow the crowd, you'll carve your own path. And here's the key. It's a process, not a destination. The more you practice questioning, analyzing, and reflecting, the sharper your mind will become. In the end, the quality of your decisions shapes the quality of your life. So ask questions, challenge assumptions, listen actively, and never stop learning. When you master your mind, you master your life. Some people seem naturally strong, but for most of us, mental toughness takes work. And guess what? That's okay. Because even if you weren't born with mental toughness, you can develop it, because it's just like a muscle. Mental toughness isn't about pretending that life is easy. It's about showing up and doing your best, even when life feels impossible. It's about handling setbacks, doubts, and fears, but not letting them stop you. So let's talk about the steps to building mental toughness. First, start with self-compassion. Hey, listen, mental toughness doesn't mean being emotionless or always strong. It means knowing that it's okay to feel overwhelmed sometimes and still choosing to keep moving. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to show up. When things get hard, don't beat yourself up. Talk to yourself the way you talk to a friend, like, it's tough right now, but you've got this. True toughness starts with kindness toward yourself. You can't grow stronger by being at war with yourself. Secondly, break big problems into small steps. I know life can be overwhelming, especially when you face challenges like loss, failure, or emotional struggles. But mental toughness doesn't require you to climb the entire mountain at once. You just need to take the first step. If you're overwhelmed, ask yourself, what's one thing I can do right now? Small wins build confidence, and over time they add up. Mental toughness isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about taking small, consistent actions, no matter how you feel. Third step, control what you can and let go of what you can't. One of the biggest energy drains is worrying about things beyond your control. Other people's opinions, unexpected setbacks, or circumstances you can't change. Tough-minded people focus on what they can control, like your attitude, your effort, your actions. Ask yourself, what can I control in this situation? When you focus on the things you can change, you take your power back. The fourth step is learn to get comfortable with discomfort. Here's the hard truth, that growth comes from discomfort. Mental toughness is built by sitting with uncomfortable emotions, fear, frustration, or self-doubt, without giving in or running away. When things get tough, pause and breathe. Remind yourself, I can do hard things. Each time you face discomfort, instead of avoiding it, you strengthen your mind. You learn that you are stronger than you think. Over time, you'll stop fearing discomfort because you'll know it's not here to break you. It's here to build you. The fifth step is adopt a long-term mindset. Toughness isn't about short bursts of effort. It's about endurance. It's about seeing setbacks as part of the process, not the end of the road. Life will throw curveballs your way, but the people who keep moving forward, even slowly, are the ones who succeed. Know that tough times won't last forever. Focus on progress, not perfection. If today is hard, tomorrow might be easier. Just keep showing up. Number 6 is celebrate progress, no matter how small. Mentally tough people don't wait until they've reached the finish line to celebrate. They recognize every step forward. Like, did you get out of bed today when you didn't feel like it? That's progress. Did you handle a difficult conversation without losing your cool? That's growth. Recognize and appreciate every effort you make. Your brain needs those reminders that you're moving in the right direction. You are stronger than you know. Mental toughness isn't about never falling, it's about getting back up every time you do. You're going to face challenges. That's life. But the more you practice showing up, the stronger you'll become. So when life knocks you down, and it will, get back up. Every step forward, no matter how small, is proof that you are tougher than you think. You have what it takes to build the life you want. One step, one challenge, one day at a time. So go out there and show yourself what you're capable of. A lot of people talk about wanting more out of life, more success, more wealth, more happiness. But talk is cheap, and life doesn't just hand you these things. Success is not going to walk through the door, sit beside you and say, "Here I am." No, success is earned, and it's attracted to people who invest in themselves with everything they've got. So if you want more, you have to become more. You have to do more than you're doing right now. You have to be the one willing to go where others won't, and willing to put in more than you think you have to get what you truly want. There's this common misconception that success only happens to the lucky ones. But the reality is, it happens to the driven ones, the ones who understand that to get something you've never had, you need to do something you've never done. Because success is out there, waiting for the person who will rise up. So step out of your comfort zone and go after it relentlessly. This isn't just about working harder, it's about becoming the person that attracts success. So look around. Real success, lasting success. It happens when people commit to raising their own standards. They don't sit around hoping or wishing. No, they set a higher bar for themselves and go beyond the ordinary. They bring value into the world. Success is naturally drawn to those who add something valuable to every space they enter, who walk in and make things better for everyone around them. So think about how much value are you really bringing? Are you just going through the motions, or are you giving the world a reason to notice you? Because when you become valuable, you attract value. And that means not waiting for the perfect moment or the right conditions. It's about understanding that now is the time. There is no such thing as the right time. The right time is whenever you decide to move. Whatever it is you want, whatever dreams you're carrying around, you have to become the magnet with every ounce of energy, every fiber of courage, and every bit of determination you have. It's easy to sit on the sidelines and watch others achieve. But greatness belongs to those who are in the game, the ones who refuse to let fear or doubt stop them from chasing what they want. Growth is about consistency, to show up day in, day out, whether it's easy or not. It's about the steady push, little things done repeatedly, the constant improvement. Yes, it takes time. Yes, it's a process. But if you commit to it, if you trust that your work is making you into something, that effort will pay off in ways you can't even imagine. When you keep at it, when you refuse to give up, you're already a step ahead of those who quit halfway. Persistence becomes your power, and with enough persistence, success will find you. Here's what I want you to know. If you want more, be more. Be the person who goes beyond the ordinary. Be the one who delivers more, who serves more, who is willing to risk more to get where they want to go. Don't settle for mediocrity when there's so much greatness waiting to be achieved. Attract success like it's the only thing that matters. Because when you do, when you become more, life will meet you right there. Every champion, whether in sports, business, or life, has something in common. They think differently. It's not just their skills that set them apart, it's their mindset. A champion's mindset is built through discipline, focus, and the ability to overcome obstacles. The good news is that you don't have to be born with it. You can develop it. Becoming a champion isn't just about winning. It's about showing up every day and doing the work even when no one is watching. So let's explore what it takes to build the mindset of a true champion. Number 1, set clear goals and visualize success. Champions don't just drift through life. They know exactly what they want, and they work towards it relentlessly. If you don't know where you're going, how will you get there? Set specific, achievable goals, big or small. Every goal gives you direction. Champions visualize success. They see themselves succeeding in their mind before they ever do it in real life. Spend time each day imagining your goals as if they're already real. Train your mind to believe it's possible. Number 2, commit to consistency. Talent might get you started, but consistency keeps you in the game. Champions show up whether they feel like it or not. They know that progress happens little by little, not all at once. Even on the bad days, take one step forward. Small actions compound into greatness over time. A champion's mindset is about mastering the daily grind. Champions win because they are consistent when others give up. Success isn't built in a day. It's built every day. Number 3, embrace failure as part of growth. Here's the truth. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it. Every champion has failed, but instead of quitting, they learned from it. Failing is feedback. When things don't go as planned, champions ask, what can I learn from this? Champions aren't afraid of mistakes. They see challenges as opportunities to grow stronger. Every time you fall, you have two choices: stay down or get up and keep going. Champions always get up. Number 4, master your mindset under pressure. The difference between a champion and everyone else isn't just skill, it's how they perform under pressure. Champions know that pressure is a part of life, and they train their minds to stay calm and focused when things get tough. When pressure builds, focus on what you can control, like your breathing, your actions, and your attitude. Champions remind themselves that setbacks are temporary and that nothing will break their spirit. Pressure isn't there to stop you, it's there to show you what you're made of. Number 5, build discipline and self-belief. Champions don't rely on motivation, they rely on discipline. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline keeps you moving forward even when it's hard. Discipline means doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. Along the way, you'll need to cultivate self-belief. Champions believe in themselves even when no one else does. If you don't believe you can, who will? Number 6, surround yourself with excellence. Champions understand the power of environment. You can't build a champion mindset if you surround yourself with negativity. Find people who challenge you, encourage you, and push you to become better. Cut out distractions and toxic influences that hold you back. Champions guard their energy and stay laser focused on their goals. Success leaves clues. Study those who've walked the path you want to walk. The choice is yours. Developing a champion mindset isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Every day is a new chance to show up, to push yourself a little harder, and to get a little bit better. You won't always feel motivated, and you'll have setbacks, but champions keep going no matter what. Ask yourself, what's stopping you? Champions aren't born, they're built, one decision at a time. Start today. Train your mind, build your discipline, and become the champion of your own life. Because in the end, the only person who can stop you is you. Imagine an architect standing before an open space. To most, it's just an empty plot, an unshaped landscape. But to an architect, it's a canvas, an opportunity. The architect envisions every detail, the shape of the structure, the layout of the rooms, how sunlight might stream through the windows. They're not just reacting to what's there, they're creating what will be. Now, what if we approached our lives like that? Instead of going with the flow, following trends, or waiting for things to happen, what if we took hold of the vision, started designing our life the way an architect would build their masterpiece? See, you are the architect of your own life. The reality is no one else can create it for you, yet so many people drift, letting the winds of circumstance carry them wherever. They react to what comes their way, allowing life to happen to them, rather than making life happen for them. If you're not the one building your life, someone else will. And if you're just following trends or letting others dictate your direction, then whose life are you really living? An architect doesn't wait for someone else's blueprint. They create their own. They know that every line they draw, every decision they make, is shaping the final result. And in life, it's the same. Every choice you make, every habit you form, every action you take, it's all constructing the framework of your future. Just like the architect has a vision of the finished project, you need to have a vision of your life. What do you see in 5, 10, 20 years? What values do you want to build on? What kind of person do you want to become? Building a life is not an overnight process. It's literally a lifelong project. There will be challenges, setbacks, and adjustments, just like in construction. But when an architect encounters a problem, they don't throw the plan away. They adapt, they pivot, and they keep going. And that's exactly what you need to do. Obstacles will come, but obstacles don't define you. It's how you respond. It's how you keep building and how you stay committed to your vision no matter what stands in your way. And think about this. An architect doesn't just focus on the big picture, they pay attention to the small details too. In your life, it's the little things, the daily habits, the consistent actions, the discipline that builds the foundation. It's the decision to wake up a bit early, to put in that extra effort, to say yes to the things that align with your goals and no to the things that don't. All of these small, seemingly insignificant choices come together to create something incredible. If you're not living by your design, then you're simply following someone else's. The trends, the opinions, the external pressures, they'll all try to tell you who to be and what to do. But only you know the vision that's right for you. Don't let the fear of standing out or the need for approval rob you of your dreams. Dare to be intentional. Dare to design a life that's truly yours. So stand back and take a look at the blueprint of your life. Address what needs to change and where you can start today. Because the time to begin is now. Be bold enough to lay the foundation and make the decision to build something extraordinary, one choice at a time. As the architect of your life, you have the power to shape it into something remarkable. Start creating, because your masterpiece is waiting. Picture yourself driving down the road and someone asks you, "How many red cars did you see today?" You'd probably pause, shrug, and say, "I didn't notice any." But why didn't you? Because red cars weren't on your radar. You weren't paying attention to them. But if I told you I'd give you $50 for every red car you spot, suddenly red cars would pop out everywhere. You'd be amazed at how many there are, zipping by, parked in driveways, or lined up at stoplights. And it's not that the red cars suddenly appeared out of nowhere. They were always there. You just weren't looking for them. This is the red car theory, and it's a perfect example of how we view opportunities in life. Most of us go through our days, our weeks, maybe even our entire lives, not noticing the opportunities that surround us. Why? Because we're not looking for them. But what if you trained your mind to be on the lookout for opportunities? Just as you would those red cars. Imagine what you'd start to see. Opportunities like those red cars are everywhere. They're in the people you meet, the books you read, the challenges you face, and the quiet moments when ideas spark. But too often we're so focused on what's familiar, what's comfortable, or what's routine that we completely miss them. Our attention is elsewhere, so the chances and possibilities stay hidden in plain sight. See, when you start looking for something specific, your brain zeroes in on it. This is because our minds have a unique system called the reticular activating system, which filters what we notice based on what we focus on. When you direct your focus, you're telling your brain what's important to you. So if you start to actively look for opportunities, your brain will begin to reveal them. Just like with the red cars, you'll start seeing opportunities everywhere because now you're primed to notice them. Many of us think opportunities are rare or reserved for the lucky few, but luck often has little to do with it. Luck favors the prepared and the aware. People who seem lucky are often those who've trained themselves to notice potential everywhere. They're open, curious, and willing to see things others overlook. So what if you adopted this mindset? What if you became one of those people who are constantly on the lookout, scanning your surroundings, your experiences, your conversations, for anything that could lead to growth, success, or a new adventure? The truth is, opportunity is a mindset. It's the choice to see each moment as a door that could open, each problem as something you can solve, and each day as a new chance to go after what you want. But it requires you to be proactive. It requires you to set your intentions, to tell your mind, this is what I'm looking for. And just like the red cars, once you're aware, you'll be astonished by what you find. Make the switch and decide that starting today, you're going to start searching for opportunities. Every morning tell yourself, I'm going to be open to whatever good comes my way today. Whether it's a conversation that leads to a new idea, a challenge that pushes you to grow, or even a book that inspires you, opportunity could be anywhere. You just have to be ready to see it. Don't be the person who goes through life missing out on what's right in front of them. Be the one who sees what others don't. Because once you start looking for those red cars, once you start looking for opportunity, you'll realize they've been right there all along, just waiting for you to notice. A winning attitude isn't reserved for those born with luck or talent. It's a mindset anyone can develop. It's the belief that no matter the odds, you can overcome challenges and rise to your potential. A winning attitude is the key to unlocking success in every area of life. It's not about having everything go perfectly. It's about how you show up when things don't. Let's dive into how to cultivate this kind of mindset and build an attitude that attracts success. First, take ownership of your mindset. Winners know that everything starts in the mind. You can't control every circumstance, but you can control how you respond. Too often, people fall into the habit of blaming others or waiting for luck. But winners take ownership of their attitude and outcomes. Replace negative thoughts with empowering ones. Remind yourself, I'm in control of my response. When you shift your mindset to ownership, you become unstoppable. Number 2, fail forward, not backward. Failure isn't the end, it's part of the process. Winners don't fear failure, they learn from it. Because every setback holds a lesson, and every lesson is a step towards success. When things don't go your way, ask, what can I take from this? Embrace failure as a tool for growth, not a sign to stop. Remember, every champion has lost, but they never quit. Number 3, surround yourself with winners. You become the average of the people you surround yourself with. Winners lift each other up. They challenge you, push you, and inspire you to keep going. Find people who have a positive, growth-focused mindset, and distance yourself from negativity or those who hold you back. A winning attitude is contagious. Surround yourself with the right energy, and you'll feel it in your life. Number 4, focus on the process, not just the outcome. Winners don't obsess over results. They fall in love with the process. It's the small, consistent actions that lead to big victories. Instead of worrying about the final goal, focus on what you can do today to get closer to it. When you love the grind, the results will follow. Success isn't a destination, it's a habit. Winners know that the path is just as important as the prize. Number 5, commit to discipline, not motivation. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline builds winners. A winning attitude means doing what you need to do, even when you don't feel like it. Create routines that keep you on track. Set non-negotiable standards for yourself. Show up no matter what. Discipline makes the difference between wishing and achieving. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. Number 6, celebrate small wins along the way. Winners don't wait for the big victory to celebrate. They find joy in the small wins along the journey. Each step forward matters. Acknowledge every bit of progress you make. Use those small victories to fuel your momentum. When you celebrate your progress, you train your mind to stay motivated for the long haul. The difference between those who win and those who quit is attitude. A winning attitude isn't about avoiding challenges, it's about choosing to rise above them. It's knowing that success is earned through daily habits, through failure, through persistence, and through the belief that you are capable of more. What will you choose today? Will you let setbacks define you, or will you develop the mindset of a winner? Start now. Take ownership of your mindset. Focus on progress and commit to showing up every day. A winning attitude isn't built overnight. It's built one decision, one action, and one victory at a time. So go out there and win today, because the only thing standing between you and success is the attitude you bring to the table.